Hey guys, everyone present, everyone correct, as I've been known to say in other videos. Bit of a sort of random stream out of the blue. It's just me on my own this evening, but as I haven't done any kind of stream in some time, I thought it'd be nice to have a little chat about things I've been thinking about today. Um, some of you might be aware that my friend came to visit, a friend that I've known, well, I think since I was like 1 year old, so someone I've known all my life. He's just gone back today. Hey, Heisenberg White. He's just gone home today. So, and it got me thinking because, like, for the last 2 weeks, I've had someone hanging around, which is rare for me, except for Andy's occasional visits. And Haley, and like after he left, I had this kind of really melancholic feeling in my stomach. Like, I mean, I hadn't seen him in 6 years, even though I'd known him for 37 odd years. And I thought, I don't know, like 2 weeks with someone, it's a long time to spend with someone. But we didn't really get tired of each other. I don't know if that's born out of familiarity or like, what does Andy smell like in person? Sort of like sour milk and semen. But yeah, anyway. This I didn't want this to be like a pity party where everyone joins me. I wanted it to be more like a pond, because what I started thinking about is how much of my life I actually invest into the internet, especially since I started doing YouTube. Hey, Ozone! And how much of my life, like my social interactions, are probably 80% online these days. And so it was kind of strange for me. And then I started to like, because admittedly, I'm not particularly social in Spain, partially because I'm not, hey Mark, partially because I'm not fluent in the language. So it's kind of difficult. I mean, I speak the language pretty well. Hey Spazzy, to you guys, you would think I'm fluent. But to Spanish speakers, I'm not a fantastic Spanish speaker. Hey, Carol. So it's kind of difficult to make new friends and that sort of thing. So, and then I started to worry. What got me kind of thinking was most people, like people who are born now, like when I was born, there was no internet. To have social interactions, you had to go and see someone face to. I mean, you could phone them on a phone. I was going to explain like what a rotary phone was, but yeah, you could phone them on a phone. I think people know what phones are. I'm very well, thank you, Carol. Just a little bit melancholic this evening. Hey, CG Rooster. So I'm just sort of reflecting on the last couple of weeks. Well, Skeleton, that's something I was going to talk about because FIFA, of course, you guys know I'm a huge FIFA fan. For those of you unaware, it's a football, or to put it in American terms, a soccer game. Now, FIFA came out while my friend was here. The thing is, both of us were kind of poor. Like, he said he was going to come for 2 weeks, but the plan was just to hang out and chill out. We went, like, walking in the mountains, and we did some nice activities and that kind of thing, but quite a lot of the days we just sat and he was playing, I think it's Just Cause on his laptop while I play FIFA, and so I was like, well, if we're going to have days doing this, I may as well spend my money and buy FIFA. But yeah, so I have disappeared into that world a little bit, Mark. But yes, sorry, to get back on subject, because I am rambling. I did write Meandering in the title, so there will be no refunds. But what I started to worry is like maybe like some people are brought up now with the internet and all their social interactions are online interactions. Like I know of people, that they seek validation from Instagram. Like, oh, if my Instagram doesn't get enough likes, then I'm upset, and this sort of thing. And it's a crazy world we live in. I mean, for me, like the whole world of YouTube, I guess, is still relatively new. I'm only coming up to two and a half years, not even that, 2 and a bit years of doing YouTube. But I've realised since I started YouTube how much of my social interactions have become online social interactions, whether it be talking to people on Skype or making YouTube videos or talking to people over the PlayStation network. So it's kind of worrying how easy it is to convert your sociability from what should be direct contact into something that's not, and something that's, yeah, the internet isn't the best invention. I mean, it's pretty good. I always said I didn't think it was going to take off, but I might have been proved wrong. But yeah, so yeah, to come back to what I was talking about, my like before I started this stream, obviously doing it on my own, it's a bit harder. If I do take a moment for a smoke or a drink, please bear with me, guys, because I'm trying to hold court. Completely. Don't become a neat. What's a neat? I've heard this word, but I can't remember what it is. But yeah, so. Yeah, that's the thing, is like, I get this as well with my family. Like when I go and visit my family at Christmas, or like when my friend came to stay, and the moment they leave, you're like, oh shit, we should have done so many more things together. Now I really regret it. It's like I go and visit my family, and maybe the first day or two I'm like, yeah, sociable family, sit and drink whiskey with my dad or whatever. And then by 2 days I'm like, right, I'm tired of my family. I'm just gonna stick the iPad on, or you know. And then when you leave, you're like, but they were people, and I should have enjoyed more social interactions with those people when I had the opportunity. And I guess it was kind of the same when my friend was here. It was odd though, because like, for example, Andy will come visit me, but Andy comes every couple of months, and he only ever comes for a few days. And I really thought with my mate coming for 2 weeks, we would get tired of each other by the time he left, but in fact, when he's left, I'm like, well, now my house just feels kind of lonely and empty. I mean, I do have my housemate, but he's Spanish, so we don't really talk so much. Although he did invite me to go and do Krav Maga with him. But yeah, I mean, I am very guilty of not becoming particularly socialized within Spain. Probably would have improved my Spanish no end had I actually joined some sort of social club or event or something. But it's too easy, like, just to sit at home and do everything from home. Yeah, well, if there was a Lorne Armstrong fan club where I live in north of Barcelona, I would definitely join that fan club, but sadly there's not. And I mean, that's not to kind of take away from, like, I've met people through the internet who have become very close friends, and I've met people in real life such as Hal and Andy that I wouldn't have done through doing YouTube. But at the same time, I'm very in a very contemplative state at the moment, where I don't know, like, I think the happiest time in my life was when I lived in a shared house with 3 mates, like 3 good mates. We organised together to live in a house, and it was like, I don't know if this reference might be lost on everyone except for Mark, but if you're familiar with the sitcom Men Behaving Badly, it was just like that. 4 guys hanging out every night, drinking beers, going out together and doing stuff. And then maybe only spending this kind of couple of weeks with my mate has made me realise perhaps I've made myself quite isolated over the last few years of living in Spain. The trouble was, when I first came to Spain, I lived in a shared house with paper-thin walls where you couldn't have a moment. Someone coughed, and yep, see, Mark, and yes, Lee, you are my friend. I've lost my train of... Yeah, when I first moved to Barcelona, when I lived in the city, we had these paper-thin walls, and there was people everywhere, and I just got so sick of being around people all the time that I moved out sort of to a little town where it was a lot more similar to kind of the size of the town that I grew up in. But then at the same time, once you're outside of the city, it's a lot harder to meet people and do social things. Johnny, yeah, from 2000, you didn't have a TV, cell phone, or computer. I can understand that those would be the happiest times. And I think even back then, when me and my mates lived in our house together, I guess it was like, I think it was from about 2003 to about 2006, and we had internet, but it was like dial-up internet, and so I mean, those days were great. Like every weekend, we'd just play poker, and other mates would come round, and we'd sit up till like 5 in the morning playing poker, playing like our lives depended on it to win 10 quid pot at the end of the game. Pot of money, I mean, not 10 quid of pot. Lee, why have you written in Spanish? Hola, mi nombre es Lee. Estoy furioso por dejar de fumar, pero soy un tipo increíble que ayudará a mí sin importar lo que pase. See, I'm fluent. Where did you learn that, Lee? Lee has just written in Spanish that his name is Lee, and he's very angry because he's trying to quit smoking, but he's also an incredible guy that helps all his friends, whatever happens. But 10 quid is a lot. But yeah, so like back then we were a lot more sociable, and I miss that kind of camaraderie. And the thing is, when you live in a house with mates, it's great because like you're not forced to be with them all the time. You can go and chill out in your own room and relax. And you can. Why did I move to Spain? That's a really good question, John. Okay. If I am completely honest, I kind of had a bit of an well, everything comes back more or less to women eventually. It's a contrived story, but as I'm holding court to you guys, and as long as no one minds, I will tell you this story. I have a bit of a thing for uniforms, so I thought, do you know what would be the perfect job for me? And so I got a job as a flight attendant, one of the very few male straight flight attendants, because I liked looking at the women in the flight attendants' uniforms. So I thought, if you can't beat them off, join them. No, wait, that was meant to be a pun, but it sounds like I'm gay now. But yeah, so I became a flight attendant, and I did that for a few years. I worked for a low-budget airline. Those of you in the UK could probably guess which one it was. I've probably mentioned it before. And the only place that we ever had night stops, because it was a low-budget airline, it was only mostly throughout Europe and North Africa that we flew to. So most days you would fly to one country and then you would fly straight home, or you'd have 4 short flights, but you'd always start and end the day at Gatwick Airport. However, the one place we used to stay over was Barcelona. And on my first ever Barcelona night stop, we went to a karaoke bar, and I got quite drunk. And in fact, it was one of those nights that shouldn't have happened at all. Like, I had no money whatsoever, but the captain was straight and the first officer was gay. No! Sorry, the captain was straight, and the first officer was a woman. And then there was a gay guy and 2 girls and me on the crew. And they were all going, there was a where they used to put us up in the hotel near the airport. There was like in the middle of this kind of industrial estate, in the middle of nowhere, they had this karaoke bar where all the EasyJet crew would go to. I think it's shut down now because EasyJet moved their hotel. And I think it was only I've just told you which company it was, but EasyJet were the only people keeping them in business. So, we went there for the karaoke night, but I had no money whatsoever. I was really, really poor. And the captain was like, we're all going to the bar. And I was like, no, I'm just going to chill. I'm just going to stay in my hotel room. And he was like, no, you've got to come. And I was like, mate, I've got no money at all. And he was like, right, I'll buy you beers all night if you come with us. So I said, all right. Thank you, Carol. I said, okay, I'll come. Free beer. Can't turn that down. Anyway, so Callum, the captain, bought me pints all night, and I had really good conversations, because pilots are a strange lot sometimes. Some of them can be very odd guys, or they can be very quite a lot of them come from incredibly wealthy backgrounds, and so they're sort of, I mean, I didn't have a poor upbringing, but I've certainly not got a silver spoon in my mouth. So it was nice to sit and talk to this down to earth pilot. And anyway, me and Callum were chatting. Then he went and sung a song, and And he was like, "You've got to sing one." And I was like, "All right, yeah, I'm going to sing a song." So I went up and I sung, what was it? Two Princes by the Spin Doctors, if you remember that song. Great song for karaoke because there's no high or low parts. And as I was singing this song, I saw these couple of quite attractive girls in the front row of the karaoke bar looking at me. Or, well, maybe not, they weren't both looking at me. That sounds a bit egotistical, doesn't it? But one of them was definitely looking at me. And anyway, like I went back to the table and I noticed that she kept looking over at me. And then between people singing, the DJ kept, do you remember this song? Now, it's something huge in Europe, but in the UK, I think it was too tacky for us. But there's this song that goes like, "Follow the leader, leader, leader." And so, like, between songs, the DJ would play something like that, and everyone was kind of doing this "follow the leader, leader," moving one way and then turning the other way. And as I turned to face, and remember, this is because I've been kind of fairly contrived with this story. I haven't been very to the point, sorry. So this is because I am going to get back to the point of how I ended up in Barcelona. Anyway, this girl turned to face me and then we just ended up kissing. But back then I didn't speak a word of Spanish. I was still living just outside of London, and she didn't speak a word of English, but we managed to try to sort of converse with each other. And yeah, she ended up coming back to my hotel room, and we somehow exchanged emails. And then for the next few months, we exchanged emails, both of us using Google Translate, which caused a lot of problems because it's not the most reliable thing to use for translating things. But yeah, so anyway, then that became a relationship, and that's how I had to start learning Spanish. So anyway, she lived really near to Sagrada Familia, which if you've ever been to Barcelona or even Google a picture of Sagrada Familia now, and I used to come and visit, and of course it was incredible for me because I was working for EasyJet, so I got free flights. I came out to Barcelona whenever I wanted, whenever it was my days off working. I came out, I had free accommodation in Barcelona because I could come and stay with her in her house. Yeah, and that's so anyway, I fell in love with the city, especially like waking up in the morning and the Sagrada Familia looming over the town. And yeah, I just absolutely fell in love with the city. The relationship didn't work out, but I continued visiting Barcelona, and then I decided that I wanted to live in Barcelona. I think for me as well, I'm not good with the cold weather. I really feel the cold. It's very rare that you hear someone say this, but I prefer to be uncomfortably warm than uncomfortably cold. So yeah, the climate suited me better. And then, so that's why, basically, yeah, that's how I first discovered Barcelona, from a little karaoke bar on an industrial estate near the airport in Prat de Llobregat, and now living here. So yeah, well then I went and did my teaching English as a foreign language course, and that was the plan, to come out here and teach English. But then I taught for a while, and I didn't enjoy teaching, especially not to children that I don't know what they're saying when they speak in their native language. So yeah, I hope that answered your question fairly thoroughly. So yeah, I was going to talk about all this. You guys are cheering me up a bit, and sorry, I didn't mean to invite you all to my pity party anyway. But yeah, this was meant to be like musings on loneliness and how things have. This is a big problem though. I think as an adult, it's a lot more difficult to make friends of the same gender. Did I ever teach them swear words? Not to the children. I taught the hey Katie. Not to the children. I taught the adults some naughty terms and things. I think I taught the adults twat, because twat's a word that not many people know. But yeah, so there was another point I had to make. I had all these great points I was going to make. I was like, this is going to be an amazing stream where I just ramble about. That's it. Yes. So as you get older, I think it's a lot harder to make friends. of the same gender, especially because you end up, you know, if I went up to a guy in the street and said, "Oh, do you fancy a beer?" He's going to be like, "What does this man want from me?" I think as we get older, and this is partially the internet's fault as well, I think we have a lot more suspicions about people, or no one wants just to hang out and have a chat with you. If someone comes up to you in the bar and starts just telling you about their life, you'd be like, "This is a fucking weirdo. He's a weirdo. Why is he talking to me? I don't know him." And yet, like, probably a lot of the time those people are just well, Johnny, this is how I thought for a while, but I think when I was growing up, I was a very sociable person. Like, as a kid, I never had an issue when we went away with as a family on family holidays. I never had a problem making friends or anything. Yes, Heisenberg, that would be great, wouldn't it? An app where you could but I think they've tried some things like that, and I still think, like, yeah, you're one of those weirdos. I think there are apps where you can make friends and that kind of thing, but it would be nice. I mean, for me, I probably should get into something that I enjoy, that people will have the similar interests in, like even like playing some amateur football or something. But again, as well, like, when I do go out with Spanish people, like, I tend to get lost in the conversation, or I'll understand if they're talking one-on-one to me, but in the middle of a group of people talking all in a foreign language, it's really hard to concentrate, and sometimes, like, by the end of the night, you end up with a huge headache. Hey, Terry! But yes, so I think, well, I would, an old geezer, do they have, they probably do have five-a-side, Mark, but, I don't know where they're playing, and I used to love five-a-side, because that's more my, breathing level. 11-a-side, like, I played a lot of five-a-side between the ages of about 22 and 27, and then I went and played a match of 11-a-side, and the pitch, wow, like, I think I was playing right back, and just the amount of ground I had to cover was insane compared to playing five-a-side. So yeah. Oh, Heisenberg White. Whoa, yeah, call me. Let's have a chat. That would be nice. Everyone is welcome if you want to get on and just talk about life as an adult and how it's difficult. We're having an open, emotional talk this evening. So, oh shit! But right. Hi, yeah, you'll have to call me, because I think I've lost all my contacts. Have I? Only on this computer. Yeah, I've lost all my contacts, so I hope you've got mine. And just, yeah, anyone that wants to call in and get online, have a little chat, is more than welcome. Anyone who can call me on Skype is welcome, guys, but I don't know if it's working at the moment. Because I updated Skype. It said it needed to be updated, and then all my contacts disappeared. And I don't know how to find them. Oh, wait. Yeah, for some reason it's only got people. Wow, it's only got people with. Yes, no, maybe so. With their email addresses linked, which is weird. Commodore 64. What? Can you call me, Dan? Because I can't get Skype to work properly. I've typed in. Right, hang on, let me try. Sorry, guys, bear with me a moment. Oh, that says you're in Brazil. Oh, this is balls. Right. Apparently my Skype is not working. Yeah, I've got like 8 contacts left. Can you guys send me a contact request or so? Sorry guys, bear with me a moment. Like now the stream has got more people in it, and it's just me talking. Right. Yep, there is. Everyone has disappeared from my address book with the exception of like someone I used to teach English to and someone I once did a comedy evening for. That's fucked up. What's oh Johnny, some of the major differences are that, let me see if maybe I've got browser Skype or something. Some of the major difference, I miss the convenience of the UK. Could I be signed into the wrong account? Oh, you're absolutely right. How has that happened? How do I sign out? Right, here we go. Right, bear with me, guys. So, Johnny, while I'm trying to sort out this Skype business, the convenience is one of the major differences I find. Like in the UK, especially being a single guy living alone, you can go to a supermarket and just buy, like, I don't know, pulled pork and chips or fries or whatever. And just get it like a ready meal. It might not be as nice as making it yourself, but or you know, roast dinner for one, anything that you want like that. Now I need to try and remember my password, but here, like, it's really hard to, you can't just buy okay. Okay, right, one sec, guys. Right. It keeps making me try and do a tutorial. Let me see if I can get these two. Hello. Oh, hello. 1 second. Let me check my Skype isn't muted. No. It's...
Hello.
Hey, man. How you doing?
Oh, hey, there you are. Hey, what's up?
I'm good. How are you? Well, I'm all right. I'm a bit melancholic, but other than that, I'm fine.
Well, I think it's great that you happen to do this right now. I'm actually in the middle of like a month-long road trip for business, and I'm going to be just.
Oh shit. Oh, sorry. I cut you out by accident there.
No, it's good. It's just thematically timed as well because I'm going to be by myself for a lot of the next few weeks, like pretty much completely isolated. But there's things to do. First off, you can hear me all right, right?
Yeah. All
right. Can you hear this?
Right. Well,
there we go.
I will cheers you with my rum and coke.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. And hello, everybody who's tuned in today. Yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag. I think it's important and value. You know, you never want to go through it, but times of self-reflection and loneliness can end up making your character a little bit better, a little bit stronger. You learn to become a little more. For the first time ever, I started living by myself this past summer, and I was kind of scared actually, but I've since learned to adapt and look after myself and take care of myself, and things started working out. The whole, it just, everything comes in ebb and flow, up and down. There's going to be down times, but yeah.
It's not giving me the option to add someone else to the call. It's going to pause. Yeah. Hey, Mark, 1 sec, right? I'm trying to work out how to add you to the call.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, how you doing? I'm trying, because I've got Dan on one line and you on the other, and I don't know how to put them together anymore. Skype's updated and it's... Right, one sec, Mark. I'm going to hang up on you and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Sorry, Dan, are you still with me? No. There we go. Sorry, Dan. Right, because everyone's trying to call me at the same time now.
We haven't figured it out yet?
No, I have now. I have. But, yes,
okay.
So you're travelling at the moment, and you were saying that you... I lived alone in this house for 1 year, and I loved that first year. But that was after a year of living in a city and a shared house full of pigs.
Yeah. Same. I kind of went through the same thing. Yeah.
So
it's
But on your travels though, like you can go and discover new places.
Yeah, and this is my second stop on. I have about. But on my first stop, I was really excited because I knew I had a few days to myself, and hey, what's going on?
Dan, Mark. I'm not sure if you two have met.
No, I don't think we have. How are you, Mark?
I'm doing okay, thanks, Dan.
This is where the worlds of scam baiting and Lorne Armstrong collide.
Where are you from, Mark?
I'm from Britain.
Oh, cool. I'm from America.
Okay, well, I'm from like down south of England, a similar sort of area to where Adam grew up.
Oh, very nice. Cool. Well, Adam does enough talking, so we're going to just talk over him for the next 45 minutes. Do you have anything to add to this conversation we were having?
Well, I've muted the stream, so I haven't picked up on like the last couple of minutes of conversation that you've had.
Well, we're talking about life living alone as an adult and
the benefits and the downsides.
Yeah, I mean the benefit when you do live alone. Hey Wallace, when you do live alone, I mean in fact, I think in a way, like I was happier here when I was completely alone because I knew.
I think everyone should live alone for at least one part of their life. You know.
Yeah.
And 6 months to a year is probably a pretty good amount of time to live on your own. If you find great success and happiness and you're still okay, then that's fantastic. But eventually it does kind of wear on you. And you realize that the little times you have hanging out with your friends and family really are fun. And you wish you could do it more often. But, life's going to get in the way. Work's going to get in the way. So you have to either make this big effort to keep in touch with the people you already know or go out and try to make new people. And that's not always easy. That's not easy for everybody.
I think especially once you get to a certain age as well, and sort of 70% of my friends have got families and kids now, so they're always busy with that kind of thing. And of course everyone geographically spreads out, don't they? The older they get, it's like whereas
it's also not like I'm not looking forward to that point where I settle down and have a family, but what's the rush? Like, what's the hurry? Is there like a race that I wasn't aware of where like kids are just younger and younger getting engaged and having kids? And I think it's just wild. Like, you haven't even had a chance to leave your first minimum wage job yet, and you're already starting a family, bro. Like, come on, man. Take some time. If you're already going to spend the rest of your life with this person, then why not just spend the rest of your life before, for a little while longer before you have to shell out thousands of dollars for a wedding and a honeymoon and then to start a family too.
Well, yeah, but then I think you're a bit younger than us, Dan. So, I think, I've got 2 more years till I hit 40. I think most people have settled down with.
Guess what, Adam? Adam, what's the rush? What's the what? If I could tell you that you could get married at 20, or you could marry the absolute soul match love of your life at 40, what would you rather do?
Oh, yeah, absolutely the second option.
So if it hasn't happened yet, it's not even necessarily guaranteed. I understand that, but if you already haven't experienced that yet, then you know that anything that was sort of close to that ultimately wouldn't have been like that.
No, yeah, but also I think as well, I mean, I've been in a lot of relationships, even since I've lived in Spain. Like, I've had a girl around a lot of the time, but it's not the same.
Precious princess.
Yeah, precious princess. It's the 13-year-old I've got chained in the basement. Like, I'll never be lonely. No, that's not true, and don't look. But it's not. You'll never have that same. I think even when, like, you know, when I was in my 20s and stuff, it was always as cliched as it is, but bros before hoes. Like, your mates are always.
For me, it's like whoever you're gonna have more fun with, go hang out with them, and it might depend on the day, you know.
Well, this is the thing me and Andy talked about when he was like, we both said it wouldn't life be easier if we were gay, because then it'd be like having a mate and you could also fuck that person. But then you look at gay relationships and they look as dramatic as straight relationships. So it's not that easy, is it? But I don't think that true love is perfect, you know. But it in perfect relationship, but it may be a perfect match, you know. Y'all might be good together, but that doesn't mean that every time it's just going to be a romantic, happy fairy tale sort of life, you know. No, unfortunately. No, and I think that people need you need friendships just as much, if not more, than relationships. And I think that's kind of like what the different. Like when I have had relationships here, like we're in each other's pockets, we're sleeping in the same bed, so you get tired of that person easily. But when your mate comes to stay for a couple of weeks, it's just like having another housemate around, and someone you can just go, oh, do you fancy going down into the plaza for a beer, or let's go up the shop and buy a bottle of whiskey and get absolutely hammered tonight, and things like that. And I guess I just miss having that. Having my mate here for 2 weeks reminded me how nice it was when I lived in a place with a big social group of mates where I could just do that whenever I wanted. But yeah,
sorry. Yeah, I get it. Things are always better in the past, right? You know, nothing is ever as good as it is now. You know, or back then.
Yeah.
But everything's
those rose tinted glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you get. I mean, even I guess I'm a fairly sentimental person, but even like when my mate went, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy a beer in his honor." Like we were drinking this brand of beer, so I'll buy a beer, and like he's gone, and then I'm walking back. We're like, "Oh, you know, that's where we sat together in the park and smoked a doobie or whatever," and like. And then I'm just like, I'm thinking about him as if he's an ex lover or something. It's a bit weird. But I think maybe it was just nice to have someone around, especially someone that
like a lifelong friend like that. Yeah. That's a pretty cool thing to have.
Yeah.
Not many people really can say that. Yeah. But I understand even 2 weeks together, even 2 hours together. It's awesome.
Well, that's I felt really bad because I'm a bit skint at the moment, so he had to go back on the train to the airport. Whereas I picked him up from the airport. We have this rental car thing here. Like I don't own a car, but whenever I need to use one, I can go and collect one. The annoying part about it is I have to go 3 stops on the train to the first place I can collect one anyway. But yeah, when he first arrived, I went and picked him up in the car, and like literally within half an hour, it's like we haven't seen each other in 6 years, and it's just like we haven't been apart for a day. I guess not many people have those kind of friendships, but then I've got I'm still in touch with people I went to school with that I met when I was 12, 13, and some like
Adam, I think you're breaking up a little bit. Is that just me?
I can hardly hear you.
Really?
That or you're starting to cry, and that's okay.
No, I'm not crying. Not yet. Maybe if I try and talk a bit clearer and closer to the microphone, is that any better?
Yeah, it just sound a little less gay, I think, is what the chat seems to indicate. Look, I'm kidding. Oh my god.
I'm trying to have a cathartic experience here, and what have you done?
That's what friendship is, though. It's just dudes ragging on each other, you know?
absolutely. That was one thing that I guess that I thought when my mate was here. It's like one thing that Andy and I have that I wasn't sure how he would take it. The constant paedophile jokes.
Isn't that funny? The difference between a friend, a best friend, and an acquaintance is how you talk to each other. And if you're like, "Oh, hi, how are you? Oh, I saw the picture of you. Oh, it looked like you had a great time. That's so nice." And then you talk to your friend, "All right, you fat fuck. Come on, let's go out and get some pizza. Like, let's go, you bitch."
Yeah. No, but that's
you can be comfortable around someone to insult them in a way that is more
like so. It's so obviously not true that that's what makes it funny, you know. But it's still insulting.
It's like well, with Andy, I was going to say we finish each other's sentences, but we don't. I finish his sentences, but not with what he wants to say. Like he'll go, "Oh, I really wanna," and I'll be like, "Fuck a kid."
I thought you guys finished each other's orgasms.
No, but that's like the constant "you're a pedo" jokes. Like with my other mate, I didn't think he was ready for that. I think that's something that's only started over the last since like.
Who started that Andy bit where he's like, "Well, you know what? I was thinking about it, and I said, you know, to get better understand what Lorne was thinking, I went out, I fucked a kid. You know what? It wasn't bad."
I remember that. I must admit. It wasn't so bad. I think I might do it again.
Jesus. I'm just happy nobody's done that to me yet. Jeez. I don't know how to react.
But yeah,
how is Andy, by the way?
I haven't. I've been off the radar while my mate's been here, really. So I haven't really spoken to anyone for a while. This is my first return.
He's at home right now. You never call. You never write. I'm worried sick about you, Andy.
No, but I know what Andy's game is, right? Because he tries to be all spiritual, and he's like, "Oh, I shouldn't spend so much time playing me computer games." So what he does is he sets himself to offline when he's on PlayStation Network, so that people don't realise how much time he is actually playing Pro Evo.
Love that this just turned into the bashing Andy stream. There was a topic here. I sort of derailed it here. Oh man.
But hey Joey. But yeah, well, we did have a topic, and we sort of lost it. I don't know. It's nice talking to people. See, this is the trouble though, because I was like really melancholy for the last few hours, and now I speak to people like, "Oh, I'm fine." Every time I get lonely, I'll just go on YouTube.
Yeah, we're not even in person, but we're hundreds of miles away, and we just boosted everybody. Boosted each other's moods just a little bit.
Absolutely.
That's all it takes. Usually, it's just to check in and be like, "Hey, been thinking about you, man. Hope you're doing all right." That can make a world of difference.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That can make somebody's day.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But then there's, I don't want this to come across as like I'm being too self-pitying, because there's a line as well where I think a lot of people probably have a lot more social lives, but I don't want to get too deep into this because I have quite strong views, and I think they might be quite kind of controversial. But you can have a few hours to yourself going, I miss my friends, or I feel a bit alone, or whatever, and then people go, "Oh, well, that's all right. You don't have to be alone," and that sort of thing. You go, "That's fine." And there's a big difference between that and sort of full-blown depression, or I'm just being sad because. But yeah, I don't really want to get in. Like, I understand everyone suffers from depression, but some
we're not doctors.
No, we're not doctors. I think everyone does to an extent, and some people have it worse than others. But for me personally, and I hope this doesn't rile too many people, but there's no one. If you are depressed, no one else can pull you out of that funk but you.
We lost you.
We've lost you. We can't hear you.
Well, hopefully the guys in the chat can hear me, because I am dropping wisdom.
I'm sure.
No, like when in regards to depression, I understand like mental health is something that I don't understand. But for me, I think in regards to that, like there's no one else you can turn to if you are depressed than yourself, and do something about it yourself. No, if you are depressed, that's a feeling of inward sadness. So who is going to make you happy but yourself? So yeah,
I got to rely on myself for my own happiness. That's a BoJack Horseman quote. He's like, I have to rely on myself for my own happiness. I can't even rely on myself to make my own breakfast.
Oh well, in fact, my mate was watching that when he was here. We also watched a whole lot of the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Which I hadn't
I've watched
seen
both
before.
shows. I really, really like BoJack Horseman. If you have to watch more of that, do it. Definitely, it's great.
I watched the first series and then I just couldn't deal with Jesse Pinkman's voice as a cartoon.
It took a little while for me to get over too. Yeah.
But and just what I watched Deadpool 2 the other day. That's really good. Like if you're in the mood for just an action movie that is silly and quite funny. But yeah, it's a good movie if you haven't seen it, guys. Deadpool 2.
Yeah, I saw it over the summer. There wasn't a lot of huge summer blockbusters this year. I didn't go out to the movies that much. I pretty much only go out now to see Marvel movies at this point. But even now, there's a couple scary movies out now. There's like October. Ooh, time to watch a spooky movie. But you can't just watch it by yourself. That's crazy. You gotta watch with somebody.
Well,
I often watch films by myself.
I've been
scary movies
by myself.
Oh yeah, very scary movies.
Yeah.
So I'm a big horror film and band film addict and all that stuff.
Oh,
If I can be, what was that, Adam? You were breaking up.
Oh, sorry. Are you into gore?
I wouldn't really say I'm into gore, but I like movies that have like over the top sort of blood, if you get what I mean. Like
hyper realistic gross blood, or like comic book level, like waves of blood?
I consider it to be like a more sort of a comic book, because it would be like so over the top that it's just totally fake. I mean, it's like nothing like that could happen in real life.
Right.
Yeah.
I bet it's out there. I've never bothered to check, but what is the technically the bloodiest movie ever made? I'm curious. And don't say The Shining, because there's that scene at the elevator opening, and then it all opens up all over the place.
The Shining isn't even a gore flick, though, is it? It's a psychological horror.
But technically, there is a scene where there's like a huge wave of literal blood, but it's like not really there, Yeah. But Sweeney Todd's probably up there.
I haven't seen it.
The one with Johnny Depp came out 10-ish years ago. Yeah, he does a lot of throat slitting in that movie. A lot of very projectile blood. I'm trying to think if I've seen a bloodier movie than that.
Hostel was pretty bad. You must have
Hostel?
seen Hostel. Mark, you must have seen Hostel.
Yeah, I've seen Hostel, and there was a film I once saw. I know it's banned in the UK, but I know places to get some films. A film called Grotesque. Apparently, it's supposed to be 10 times worse than Hostel. So I thought, I'll have a look at that, see what it's like. And I think that is the only horror film I've ever seen where I didn't like it whatsoever.
The first time I watched Hostel, I had a really bad hangover and I nearly threw up at the ankle cutting scene. And normally, I stay away from those kind of things. I've never seen any of the Saw movies. I've just got no interest in seeing people tortured or harmed. I love a good psychological horror. Something like The First Wreck, or if you ever watched I think in fact the American remake wasn't so bad, but the Spanish horror film La Orfanato, that was a great scary horror movie. One I watched.
There's a French film that was on Netflix. It might still be. It was called Raw. Did you guys hear about that?
No.
It's kind of about. It's like a college girl who goes off to college, and she has been strictly raised as vegan vegetarian her whole life by her whole family. And she tries like meat for the first time, just was kind of peer pressured into it. And she develops like such a lustful taste for it that she starts like eating people and shit. And it's actually really fucked up. There's a bit of a couple twists in there. I won't say, but it was really like nauseating. Even for a foreign film, though, I really enjoyed it.
There was a film, was it called like Venus Flytrap? I'm not sure if I've just made that up in my mind because
Are you thinking of Teeth?
Is that the one with the woman and the
teeth
vagina
in the for JJ?
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I thought it was called because I saw a Venus Flytrap the other day and it reminded me.
That's more like
for the movie.
The penis flytrap, though.
Yeah. I haven't seen that film, but I saw the clip for it, and I thought, why? I'm not going to watch a movie where people just get their cocks chopped off.
Why not?
It's just the same reason I didn't watch Human Centipede.
Yeah, you're not missing much. Yeah,
I'm not a fan of the Centipede films.
No, I don't have any interest in watching people being stitched.
Do you guys have favorite bad movies?
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Yeah, now, well, of course, The Room is
obviously
the ultimate bad movie. What's your favourite bad movie like?
Mac and Me, if you've ever heard of it.
Oh, Mac and Me, yeah. The E.T. McDonald's advert thing.
That's exactly how I would describe it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's amazing. It's hilarious. It is so, like, mind-boggling, like, stupid. And you wonder how anybody agreed to be a part of this film. And when it's over, you're like, well, that was weird. And I've watched it, like, 5 times. I can't get enough of it. I think it's great. Yeah, it's just terrible acting, effects. The story is bullshit. It is just an E.T. sort of ripoff, vaguely disguised as it's a vaguely disguised E.T. ripoff that is more prominently an ad for McDonald's restaurants. And I think that's what just makes it so perfect.
Have you, Mark might have seen this. I doubt you would have done, Dan. But this was a movie I watched on the first. You ever seen a movie and it's just so bad that you have to watch it again? You're like, it can't really have been that bad. And I had that with Another Hood. I don't know if you've seen that, Mark.
Oh, is that spelt as in oh God, well, not spelt in English, so to speak.
ANUVAHOOD.
Yeah. Yeah,
and it's basically a rip. He's tried to go somewhere in between of. If you've ever seen "Don't Go Drinking Your Juice in South Central," do you know what film I'm trying to say? The title of it's really long.
Whilst drinking your juice in the hood or whatever it's called. Yeah, that one.
Which is
I like that film.
Well, that's a good film. That was the Wayans brothers before they became absolutely pathetically unfunny. That was a great parody film, but he's tried to go for that kind of vibe with it, but tried to rip off like the British modern. Well, would you say the gangster movies or the British chav movies like Kidulthood and Adulthood, and then also combine it with like Friday. And the first time I watched it, I was like, this is appalling, and I was quite disappointed because Adam Deacon in Adulthood is really good. And actually, did you ever see the series Babylon? Which
I think I've heard of
breaking up a bit, Adam. I can't really kind of make out what you're saying.
I don't know why it's so bad this evening. Did you ever see the series Babylon?
Babylon.
Yeah, brilliant series. If guys in the chat, if you've ever had an opportunity to see this series Babylon, it follows like the politicians and the police and the special task forces in London, but it's really good. But yeah, Adam Deacon's in that. It's great. But in this film, Another Hood, like the first time I watched it, I was like, this is terrible.
We're losing you.
Losing you.
I was like, this is terrible. It's just ripping off other movies the whole way through. Then I watched it a second time, and I was like, maybe it would be better with a massive joint. And so I watched it again, and I was like... And it was slightly better, and then I was like, it can't be. And then it just became, like, I grew an affection for the movie. Even though it is, like, it's awful from start to finish. Everything about it is bad. And yet must have watched it, like, 8 or 9 times. That's it, Wallace. Don't be a menace to society while drinking your juice in the hood. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think my Skype is not working so well, guys, because I think the people in the chat can hear me fine. But
I think we're just choosing not to listen to you.
Yeah. Nothing like a good gangster movie. Absolutely, James. I would totally agree with that. I went through a period of being obsessed with gangster movies. I must have seen Goodfellas over 15 times. Scarface, Carlito's Way. Yeah.
I watched the Departed for the first time a few weeks ago. That's a good movie.
That is a good movie. But it's like old-fashioned gangsters, isn't it?
No, The Departed was like modern day. Oh. I think you're thinking of another movie I watched for the first time a few weeks ago, which was Gangs of New York.
Oh,
another Leonardo DiCaprio movie. Yeah.
That's good. I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
That's well old though. That must be 20 years or so old.
Just about. Cameron Diaz.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But then when it comes to gangsters, it's all about the Peaky Blinders.
That I have yet to check out, and I know I should.
Oh man, you really should. Even if you don't like, I was trying to get my mate to watch it, and he was like, oh, I'm just not into it, and I was like, everything about it is brilliant. The sets, the background, the dialogue, the costumes. It's just amazing. It's just eye candy. Like, and it's got Tom Hardy as a fat Jew. What more do you want?
Well, if you give BoJack Horseman a second chance and keep watching, I will agree to watch Peaky Blinders, and we'll get back and compare notes. All right.
All right, that sounds good to me.
Yes.
Right. Well, I've been going nearly an hour. I know you guys have been here, but I won't stay up too late because I really need to catch up. I've become self-employed over the last month, and motivation is something I'm struggling to find, and I really need to, like, everything's been kind of a bit of an excuse, like, my mate's here, so I won't do as much work as I should, and then, because he's, like, on vacation, I was acting like I was on vacation, so I was staying in bed till, like, 1 p.m. every day as well, and I need to start getting up, doing my work. I mean, in theory, if I actually got up and put my brain to it and didn't distract myself while I'm working by listening to constant old lawn phone calls.
I made out about 10% of what you just said.
And I made out about 10% of that 10%.
1%.
You said, I heard
exactly.
In theory, and then I lost the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, in theory, I could get all my day's work done within 2 hours per day. If I didn't I start up the computer and I'm like, yeah, it's work. I'm like, no, let's find a lawn call to listen to.
I totally understand.
And then,
oh, man.
And then I'll start listening to that, and then I'll be like, right, open up the FIFA web app. Okay, listening to lawn calls, doing FIFA trading to make money for my team. And then I'm like, 3 hours have passed, and I still haven't even started working.
Christ.
Yeah, I really need to work on my motivation.
Yeah, that's a key part of being self-employed. I remember that from my contractor days.
Yeah.
Motivation, concentration, hydration, masturbation. That's all you need.
The only reason I actually get up to start work is because of coffee. When I wake up in the morning, I'm just like, well, I wake up and then I lie in bed for like 2 hours, and then I'm like, okay, now I need a coffee, and I'll start working. And then I'm like, but then even that doesn't work. I'm like, well, I'll just enjoy my coffee, have a cigarette, quick game of FIFA. Next thing I know, it's like 9 p.m. and I still haven't started work.
Wow.
Yeah, I gotta stop doing that. Oh, James Morrison, if you like your gangster stuff, check out Peaky Blinders. Do it now. Do it straight after this stream and thank me later. I cannot recommend it highly enough. When I first heard about it, my dad was watching it. I was like, oh, it can't be that good because my dad's into it. But then my dad actually has pretty decent taste in some stuff. And then I watched like the first couple of episodes. I was like, yeah, this is fucking badass. It's got everything: gangsters, gypsies. It's like Snatch 100 years ago.
Nice.
Right, guys.
All right, man. Thank you so much for having me on, by the way.
Thanks for joining me, guys. I think Lee was trying to get involved. Apologies, Lee. I didn't want to get more people on the call because it can get a bit hectic with more than 3 people on one call. But I'm sure we can talk about what your uncle did to you in the future. That's probably something to set aside for a full documentary piece on. So thanks for joining me, Mark and Dan.
It's good to be here.
Anytime, man. Yep.
And
anytime for you to cheer up.
Aww. And thanks so much, guys, in the chat for joining me. I hope you have enjoyed it. I'm sorry it wasn't very structured, but it's been an enjoyable evening. I'm going to go to bed. Definitely less melancholy, and certainly more drunk. So take care, everyone, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.